Welcome to this wonderful journey through the artist's way by Julia Cameron. This book is not just a guide to unlocking your creativity, it is a faithful companion that will help you rediscover your creative essence and transform how you relate to art and yourself. Throughout its pages, you will find practical tools, profound reflections, and exercises designed to awaken the artist within you. Here, you'll learn that creativity is neither a luxury nor a talent reserved for the few. It is an inherent right for all of us, a divine gift that deserves expression. Step by step, we will break through the internal barriers that limit your potential, cultivate new perspectives, and discover that creativity is a path to freedom and authenticity. Prepare to explore, question, create, and most importantly, reconnect with that unique spark that makes your life a masterpiece. If you enjoy this content and want to keep discovering inspiring audiobooks, we invite you to subscribe to the Audio Mentors channel. There, you'll find more tools to grow and transform your life. Let's embark on this exciting journey together. Chapter 1. Introduction: Art as a Spiritual Transaction. In this first chapter, Julia Cameron invites us to rethink our relationship with creativity, approaching it not just as an act of artistic expression but as a spiritual transaction. According to Cameron, creating is not merely an individual endeavor but an active collaboration with a higher power, the same force that shapes the universe and flows through us as artists. Creativity as connection to the divine. Cameron explains that we are all born with infinite creative potential, granted by a higher source that seeks to manifest itself through us. This creativity is not reserved for a select few gifted individuals. It is a universal right and a form of spiritual connection. Key ideas. The creative act is sacred. Each time we create, we participate in the divine act of creation. Creativity flows naturally. We do not need to force it, only learn to unblock the internal obstacles preventing its flow. Fear and doubt are barriers. Critical inner voices often disconnect us from our creative source. These barriers can be overcome through mindful practices. The relationship between art and spirituality. Cameron describes art as a constant dialogue between the artist and the divine. In this dialogue, the artist becomes a channel through which universal creative energy expresses itself. To be receptive to this energy, we must cultivate an attitude of openness, trust, and gratitude. Suggested practice. Spend a few minutes daily reflecting on how your creativity is connected to something greater than yourself. You can do this through affirmations such as, "I am a channel for divine creativity. My art is an expression of universal spirit." Myths about creativity. Cameron debunks several common myths that distance us from our creativity. I'm not talented enough. Everyone has talent. What we often lack is confidence or practice. Art is for the few. Creativity isn't limited to visual arts or music. It can manifest in cooking, problem-solving, or any form of expression. It's too late to start. Creativity has no age. Every moment is an opportunity to begin. The need to unblock our creativity. Cameron points out that many of us have blocked our creativity due to external criticism, past failures, or limiting beliefs. These experiences often create emotional wounds that prevent us from trusting our creative abilities. The path to creative healing. Acknowledge your wounds. Admitting creative hurts is the first step toward healing. Open yourself to new possibilities. Allow yourself to explore creativity without judgment or expectation. Embrace imperfection. The creative process doesn't need to be perfect. What matters is expressing it. Commitment to the creative process. Cameron emphasizes that unlocking our creativity requires active commitment. This doesn't mean we must dedicate our lives exclusively to art, but that we need to regularly set aside time and space to nurture our creativity. Let's begin this transformative journey with openness, curiosity, and a willingness to explore the limitless potential of your inner artist. Initial exercise. Make a list of the creative activities you enjoyed as a child. What made you feel alive and connected? Reflect on how you can reintroduce some of these activities into your current life. Chapter conclusion. Art is not just a skill or a task. It is a bridge to the divine and an expression of our most authentic essence. Julia Cameron encourages us to embrace our creativity as a spiritual practice, an act of self-love, and a path to connection with something greater than ourselves. Creativity is our spiritual inheritance. It is a gift given to us to share, enjoy, and expand. Each of us carries a divine spark within, waiting to be awakened. In the next chapter, we will explore basic principles, creative electricity, where we will learn about the foundations that sustain our creative energy and how to connect with its natural flow. Chapter 2, Basic Principles, Creative Electricity. In this chapter, Julia Cameron introduces the foundational principles that sustain the flow of creativity in our lives. She compares creativity to electricity, a constantly available energy flowing through us. However, to harness this energy, we need to learn how to connect with its source, remove internal blocks, and trust that it is accessible to everyone. Creativity as universal energy. Cameron describes creativity as an endless universal force, much like an electric current, always present, but it is up to us to plug in and access it. This energy is limitless, but we often disconnect from it due to fear, doubt, and internal criticism. Key points. Creativity is infinite. It never runs out, even if we feel temporarily disconnected. Everyone is naturally creative. No matter our profession or current skills, creativity is available to all. Creative flow strengthens with use. The more we practice creativity, the stronger our connection to it becomes. Blocks to creative electricity. Cameron identifies common blocks that prevent us from accessing this energy. Fear of failure. We fear our creations won't be good enough, which paralyzes us. Perfectionism. We focus on flawless results instead of enjoying the process. Comparison with others. Measuring ourselves against others' success or talent discourages us. Suggested reflection. Make a list of beliefs or fears that might be blocking your creativity. For example, I'm not good enough, or I don't have time to be creative. Acknowledging these blocks is the first step to overcoming them. The basic principles of creativity. Cameron presents several foundational principles to understand and unlock our creative electricity. Creativity comes from a higher source. We don't need to create everything from scratch. We are channels through which this energy flows. The process matters more than the outcome. By focusing on the act of creating rather than the final product, we unlock our potential. Creativity requires action. Even small steps help us stay connected to this energy. Creative affirmations. Repeat phrases such as, I trust my creativity. I am open to the infinite flow of ideas. My creativity is a gift and a privilege. Building a relationship with creativity. Cameron emphasizes that creativity is like a relationship we must nurture and cultivate. Like any relationship, it requires time, dedication, and trust. To strengthen this bond, it is essential to let go of internal judgments and approach our work with curiosity and playfulness. Suggested practice. Dedicate 10 minutes a day to a creative activity, such as writing, drawing, or singing, without worrying about the outcome. Simply enjoy the process and observe how you feel. The importance of trusting the creative flow. Cameron notes that we often block our creativity because we want to maintain total control over it. However, true creative power emerges when we allow ourselves to let go of control and trust that ideas and solutions will come to us at the right time. Through these principles and practices, we begin to reconnect with the infinite source of creative energy, paving the way for a more inspired and fulfilling creative journey. Practical example. When you encounter a creative block, instead of forcing a solution, take a break and engage in a relaxing activity. Trust that your subconscious will work on the problem and provide a fresh idea. Commitment to creativity. The author emphasizes that unlocking our creative electricity requires commitment. Wishing to be creative is not enough. We must take daily actions to maintain the flow of this energy. This includes setting aside time for creative activities, surrounding ourselves with inspiration, and cultivating an open mindset. Initial exercise. Make a list of activities that make you feel most creative or inspired. Then, commit to incorporating at least one of these activities into your weekly routine. Chapter conclusion. Creativity is an unlimited energy that is always available to us. However, to harness its power, we must learn to connect with it, overcome our internal blocks, and trust the process. Julia Cameron reminds us that everyone has access to this creative flow, as long as we are willing to take action and commit to our creative growth. Creative electricity is always available to you. Your only task is to open yourself to it, remove the blocks, and allow it to flow through you. Trust that the universe is ready to help you create. In the next chapter, we will explore the fundamental tools, morning pages, and artist dates, where we will learn about 2 key practices to unlock our creativity and keep it alive. Let's continue advancing on this exciting journey. Chapter 3: The Fundamental Tools, Morning Pages, and Artist Dates. In this chapter, Julia Cameron introduces 2 key tools that will form the foundation of the creative process throughout the book: morning pages and artist dates. These practices are essential for unblocking creativity, overcoming internal barriers, and cultivating a deeper relationship with our creative essence. Morning pages, clearing the mind. Morning pages are a daily practice of writing 3 pages by hand, uninterrupted, immediately after waking up. This exercise has no strict rules or specific goals. Its primary purpose is to empty the mind and clear the path for creativity to flow freely. Benefits of morning pages. Mental unblocking. They help release negative thoughts, doubts, and worries that may sabotage your creativity. Inner connection. They foster introspection and self-awareness. Mental clarity. They help organize ideas and reduce the mental noise that distracts us. Basic rules. Write by hand, not on a computer. Don't worry about grammar, spelling, or style. Simply write whatever comes to mind. Don't read what you've written. These pages are not meant to be evaluated but are a private space for expressing your feelings. Example of a morning pages session. Julia Cameron emphasizes that there is no right way to write morning pages. You might jot down thoughts like, "Today I feel a bit overwhelmed, but I'm ready to face the day. I don't know what to write, but I'll keep filling the pages. I have an idea for a creative project I want to explore." The goal is to keep the pen moving and let your thoughts flow uncensored. Artist dates, rekindling inspiration. Artist dates are weekly solo outings dedicated to nurturing your creativity. These dates are moments reserved exclusively for activities that inspire and connect you with your inner child, such as visiting a museum, walking in nature, or exploring an art supply store. Purpose of artist dates. Inspiration. Reignite your creative enthusiasm by exposing yourself to new experiences. Playfulness. Encourage fun and spontaneity, essential elements of creativity. Reconnection. Remind yourself that creativity is a gift to yourself and a source of joy. Basic rules. Go alone. This time is solely for you and your inner artist. Be intentional. Plan your artist date in advance and treat it with the same importance as any other commitment. Stay open. Allow yourself to explore activities you haven't tried before. Examples of artist dates. Strolling through a local craft market. Watching a movie by yourself. Buying art supplies and experimenting with them. Listening to music you've never explored before. Cameron emphasizes that these activities don't need to be expensive or elaborate. What matters is dedicating time to what inspires you and makes you feel alive. The synergy between the 2 tools. Morning pages and artist dates work together to unlock and strengthen your creativity. While morning pages clear away blocks and declutter your mind, artist dates fill it with fresh ideas and inspiration. How to integrate them. Morning pages. Write them daily to start your day with clarity and purpose. Artist dates. Dedicate at least 1 day per week to this practice to nurture your imagination. Overcoming resistance. Cameron acknowledges that many people initially feel resistance when implementing these tools, whether due to lack of time, doubts about their effectiveness, or fear of change. However, she insists that committing to these practices can lead to profound transformations in your creative life. Tips to overcome resistance. Start small. Don't worry about doing everything perfectly, just begin. Be consistent. Turn these practices into habits, even if they feel awkward at first. Trust the process. Results won't be immediate, but each session brings you closer to unlocking your creativity. Practical exercise for the week. Write your morning pages. Spend 20 to 30 minutes each morning writing 3 uninterrupted pages. Plan an artist date. Set aside 1 hour this week for something that inspires and reconnects you with your creativity. Reflect on your experience. At the end of the week, evaluate how these practices impacted your mood and creative flow. Chapter conclusion. Morning pages and artist dates are fundamental tools for unlocking your creativity and keeping it alive. Julia Cameron reminds us that these practices aren't just tasks to check off a list, they're gifts we give ourselves. By adopting them with consistency and openness, we can transform our relationship with creativity and discover new ways to express ourselves. Creativity doesn't need to be forced, it just needs space to flourish. With these tools, we give our inner artist the care and freedom it deserves. In the next chapter, we will explore Week 1, Recovering a Sense of Safety, where we will begin working on the internal blocks that prevent us from feeling secure and confident as creators. Chapter 4. Week 1, Recovering a Sense of Safety. In this chapter, Julia Cameron invites us to address one of the greatest creative blocks, a lack of safety. Often, our doubts, fears, and internal criticism paralyze us, making us feel incapable of creating. This first week focuses on identifying and overcoming these obstacles to establish a solid foundation of confidence in our creativity. The impact of creative wounds. Cameron explains that many of our creative insecurities stem from past experiences when we felt rejected, criticized, or ignored. These wounds can make us doubt our abilities or fear exposing ourselves to judgment. Practical example. Think of a moment in your life when someone dismissed your creativity or made you feel you weren't good enough. These experiences often turn into subconscious blocks that limit our potential. Suggested reflection. Make a list of the criticisms or negative comments you remember receiving about your creativity. Ask yourself if these opinions still influence how you see yourself as a creator. Identifying and confronting the censor. Cameron introduces the concept of the censor, that inner critical voice constantly questioning your creative abilities. The censor can take the form of thoughts like, "I'm not talented enough. This isn't good. This is a waste of time." The first step to overcoming this inner voice is to recognize that it isn't real, it's simply a fear-based protective mechanism. Strategy to manage the censor. Write your critical thoughts in your morning pages. This externalizes them and helps you see them more objectively. Counter them with positive affirmations. Respond with phrases like, "I am capable of creating something beautiful," or, "My creativity is valuable." The power of affirmations. Affirmations are key tools to counter doubts and fears. These positive statements reprogram your mind to trust your abilities and allow creativity to flow. Suggested affirmations. My creativity is unique and deserves to be expressed. I trust my creative process. I am worthy of creating and enjoying my art. Cameron recommends repeating these affirmations daily and observing their impact on your mental state. Identifying creative blocks. To recover a sense of safety, it's essential to identify the specific blocks that hold you back. These may include limiting beliefs. I'll never make a living from my art. Fears. What will others think of my work? Excuses. I don't have time to be creative. Practical exercise. Make a list of the blocks you feel in your creative life. Then, write a potential solution for each one. For example, block, I don't have time to create. Solution, I'll dedicate 15 minutes a day to a creative activity. The importance of play in creativity. Cameron reminds us that creativity thrives in a state of play, not pressure. Recovering a sense of safety means allowing yourself to experiment and enjoy the process without worrying about the final result. Suggested activity. Do something creative unrelated to your usual goals. It could be drawing, writing poetry, or even cooking something new. The goal is to enjoy yourself without judgment. Creative recovery exercise. Write a support letter. Cameron proposes a powerful exercise to reinforce your confidence. Imagine someone you deeply admire writes you a letter of support. Write that letter yourself, highlighting your creative qualities and potential. Example: Dear, your name. I have always admired your passion for creating. You have a unique gift that deserves to be shared with the world. Trust yourself and keep moving forward. Keep this letter and read it whenever you feel doubt. Commitment to creativity. The author emphasizes that recovering a sense of safety requires commitment. This involves dedicating time and effort to confront your insecurities and replace them with confidence and courage. Commitments for this week. Write your morning pages every day. Plan and complete your first artist date. Work on at least one of the proposed exercises. Chapter conclusion. Recovering a sense of safety is the first step in unlocking your creativity. Julia Cameron encourages us to confront our wounds and blocks, reminding us that the creative process is not a destination but an ongoing journey of self-discovery and growth. Creativity flourishes in a ground of trust and safety. By facing our doubts and fears, we open the way for our inner artist to express itself freely and authentically. In the next chapter, we will explore Week 2, Recovering a Sense of Identity, where we will delve deeper into the process of reconnecting with our true creative selves. Let's continue advancing on this inspiring path. Chapter 5. Week 2, Recovering a Sense of Identity. In this second week, Julia Cameron guides us through the process of reconnecting with our true identity as creative beings. Often, our creative essence gets lost amidst others' expectations, responsibilities, and criticism. This chapter focuses on rediscovering who we truly are and reclaiming our artistic identity. The creative self, an identity that needs protection. Cameron explains that our creative self is a delicate and vulnerable part of our personality. For it to flourish, we must recognize, protect, and nurture it. Yet, we often neglect it due to external demands or our own insecurities. Suggested reflection. What aspects of your creative identity do you feel you have neglected or suppressed? When was the last time you felt completely authentic while creating something? The impact of external influences. One of the greatest challenges to our creative identity is the influence of others. This includes destructive criticism, comments that make us doubt our abilities. Social expectations, the pressure to conform to norms or roles that don't align with our creative essence. Comparison with others, the tendency to measure our creative success against the achievements of others. Practical exercise. Make a list of the people, comments, or situations that have negatively affected your creative confidence. Reflect on how you can protect your creative identity from these influences in the future. The importance of rediscovering your passions. Cameron emphasizes that reconnecting with our creative identity requires exploring our true passions, those activities that bring us joy and make us feel alive. Suggested exercise. Write a list of 10 things you've always wanted to do but haven't tried due to lack of time, fear, or self-limitation. Choose one activity and commit to trying it this week. Recognizing and honoring your creative achievements. We often downplay or ignore our creative victories, a habit that erodes our identity as artists and makes us doubt our potential. Cameron encourages us to recognize and celebrate our achievements, no matter how small or significant. Practical activity. Make a list of your creative achievements, from the smallest, like a drawing in school, to the most recent. Celebrate each one as an expression of your true identity. The connection between identity and creativity. Cameron explains that our creativity is deeply tied to our identity. When we feel disconnected from who we are, our creativity suffers. It's crucial to take time to reflect on what we truly value and who we want to be as creators. Reflection questions. What does creativity mean to me? How do I want to express myself through my art? What part of my identity am I ready to reclaim? Overcoming self-criticism and doubts. Self-criticism is one of the biggest barriers to recovering our creative identity. Cameron suggests that instead of focusing on what we are not or cannot do, we should practice self-compassion and recognize our progress. Suggested strategy. When a critical thought arises, pause and write a positive affirmation to counter it. For example, critical thought, I'm not talented enough. Response, my creativity is unique and valuable. Artist dates, rediscovering who you are. This week, artist dates play a key role in the process of reclaiming your identity. They allow us to explore our passions and reconnect with what truly inspires us. Ideas for your artist date. Visit an inspiring place, such as an art gallery or a park. Buy art supplies and experiment without worrying about the outcome. Spend time exploring a hobby you've always wanted to try. Practical exercise. Create an identity statement. Cameron suggests an exercise to consolidate your rediscovery process. Write a statement that defines who you are as a creator. For example, I am an artist who finds joy in music, writing, and connecting with nature. Read this statement every day and let it inspire you to act in alignment with your creative identity. Chapter conclusion. Recovering a sense of identity is essential to unlocking our creativity. Julia Cameron reminds us that by reconnecting with our passions, protecting our creative essence, and celebrating who we are, we open the door to a more authentic and purposeful life. Your creative identity is a unique gift that deserves to be honored and protected. By reconnecting with it, you not only unlock your creativity but also discover the truth of who you are. In the next chapter, we'll explore Week 3, Recovering a Sense of Power, where we'll learn how to reclaim our inner strength to move forward confidently on our creative journey. Chapter 6, Week 3, Recovering a Sense of Power. In this third week, Julia Cameron guides us through the process of reclaiming our personal power as creators. Often, our insecurities, limiting beliefs, and self-sabotaging patterns make us feel powerless in pursuing our creative goals. This chapter focuses on identifying these barriers and building the confidence needed to move forward with strength and determination. Power as a personal choice. Cameron explains that recovering a sense of power doesn't depend on external factors but rather on our internal willingness to claim it. When we recognize that we have control over our creative decisions and actions, we regain the strength to overcome obstacles. Initial reflection. In which areas of your creative life do you feel you've lost power? What beliefs or habits prevent you from exercising your creative strength? Identifying limiting beliefs. One of the greatest blocks to our creative power is limiting beliefs, often rooted in past experiences or external criticism. These beliefs act as invisible barriers, causing us to doubt our abilities. Examples of limiting beliefs. I'm not good enough to be an artist. It's too late to start something new. Creativity isn't practical or productive. Practical exercise. Write down your limiting beliefs about creativity. Replace them with positive affirmations. For example, belief, I don't have enough talent. Affirmation, my creativity is unique and valuable. Recognizing self-sabotaging patterns. Self-sabotage is another factor that drains our power. Cameron points out that we often use excuses such as lack of time, perfectionism, or procrastination to avoid facing the creative process. Practical exercise. Make a list of the self-sabotaging patterns you recognize in your creative life. Then, write down a concrete action to counteract each one. For example, pattern, I always postpone working on my project. Action, I'll dedicate 30 minutes daily to progress without worrying about perfection. The importance of setting boundaries. Reclaiming power also involves setting clear boundaries with ourselves and others. This includes protecting our creative time, saying no to unnecessary demands, and prioritizing our goals. Suggested activity. Reflect on areas in your life where you need to set boundaries. For example, dedicating exclusive time for your creative projects. Saying no to commitments that drain your energy. The power of speaking your truth. Cameron emphasizes that being honest with ourselves is key to reclaiming our power. This includes acknowledging our creative desires, ambitions, and needs, even if we fear the judgment of others. Practical exercise. Write a letter to yourself in which you are completely honest about what you truly want to achieve creatively. Don't censor yourself or worry about others' opinions. Artist dates, reaffirming your power. This week, artist dates are an opportunity to reconnect with activities that make you feel strong, inspired, and in control. These dates remind you that you have the power to create and enjoy. Ideas for artist dates. Explore an inspiring place, like a park or a bookstore. Experiment with a new creative medium, such as painting, clay, or automatic writing. Try something you've always wanted to do but never dared. Creative recovery exercise. Visualize your creative strength. Close your eyes and visualize a moment when you felt particularly powerful or successful in your creative life. Relive that feeling. How does it feel to be in control? What emotions does it evoke? Use this visualization as a source of motivation whenever you experience doubts. The connection between power and faith. Cameron highlights that regaining a sense of power also requires faith. Faith in yourself and in the creative process. This means trusting that every small step you take brings you closer to your goals, even if immediate results aren't visible. Affirmations to reinforce your power. I have the power to create the life I desire. I trust my creative process. My creative strength grows with every step I take. Commitments for this week. Identify and replace one limiting belief each day. Set a clear boundary in your life to protect your creative time. Schedule an artist date that reminds you of your power and inspires your confidence. Chapter conclusion. Reclaiming a sense of power is essential for unlocking your creativity. Julia Cameron encourages us to recognize and overcome self-sabotaging patterns, establish boundaries, and trust in our capacity to create. This process not only strengthens our confidence but also enables us to move forward with determination toward our creative goals. Your creative power is always with you, waiting to be reclaimed. By trusting yourself in the process, you unlock an unlimited force that transforms your life and your art. In the next chapter, we'll explore Week 4, Recovering a Sense of Integrity, where we will learn how to align our creative actions with our deepest values. Chapter 7, Week 4, Recovering a Sense of Integrity. In this fourth week, Julia Cameron invites us to reflect on the relationship between our creativity and personal integrity. In this context, integrity refers to living in alignment with our values, desires, and authentic creative nature. Often, we disconnect from this alignment due to external pressures, internal doubts, or commitments that don't reflect our true essence. The link between creativity and integrity. Cameron explains that our creativity flourishes when we are aligned with our inner truth. However, when we act against our values or deprioritize our creative aspirations, we feel a void or disconnection that impacts our ability to create. Initial reflection. Do you feel that your creative life aligns with what you truly value? Are there areas in your life where you're overcommitting to others' expectations? Identifying misalignment. To recover integrity, we must first identify areas of our lives where we're acting against our creative essence. This can include saying yes to commitments that don't support our creative goals, allowing fear or doubt to prevent us from taking action, wasting time on activities that neither nourish nor inspire us. Practical exercise. Make a list of activities or commitments that you feel pull you away from your creative integrity. Ask yourself, are they truly necessary? How can I reduce or eliminate these distractions? The importance of honesty. Cameron emphasizes that honesty is an essential component of integrity. To live in alignment with our creativity, we must be truthful with ourselves about what we want, what we need, and what we must change. Practical exercise. Write a list of things you need to feel authentic and aligned as a creator. For example, time to work on your projects, a quiet space to create, emotional support from those around you, setting boundaries to protect your integrity. Recovering integrity also involves learning to say no to what doesn't serve us and yes to what nurtures our creativity. This requires setting clear boundaries with ourselves and others. Suggested activity. Identify a situation where you need to set a boundary to protect your creative time or energy. Practice saying no in a kind but firm manner. Reconnecting with your creative values. Cameron stresses that recovering integrity involves reflecting on our fundamental creative values. These values serve as a compass, guiding us toward aligned decisions and actions. Practical exercise. Write a list of your creative values. For example, authenticity, experimentation, connection to the divine. Then, reflect on how you can incorporate these values into your daily life. The power of letting go of what no longer serves you. A crucial step in recovering integrity is releasing what no longer serves us. This includes habits, relationships, or commitments that hinder our creative progress. Cameron encourages us to trust that by clearing space in our lives, we open the door to new opportunities and experiences. Practical exercise. Make a list of things you feel no longer serve you. Choose one item from the list and commit to letting it go this week. Artist dates. Reconnecting with your truth. This week, artist dates provide an opportunity to explore activities that remind you of who you are at your creative core. These experiences help you reconnect with what you value and enjoy. Ideas for artist dates. Reread a book that has inspired you in the past. Visit a place that sparks your creativity, such as a library, a beach, or a craft market. Spend time on a hobby you used to love but have set aside. Writing exercise. A letter to your creative self. Cameron suggests an exercise to strengthen your creative integrity. Write a letter to your creative self, expressing your intentions to support and protect it. Be honest about the challenges you face and commit to prioritizing your creativity. Read this letter aloud as a reminder of your commitment. Commitments for this week. Reflect on your values and create a plan to integrate them into your daily life. Set a boundary in an area of your life where you feel you are straying from your integrity. Plan and complete an artist date that reconnects you with your creative essence. Chapter conclusion. Recovering a sense of integrity is an essential step in unlocking your creativity. Julia Cameron reminds us that by living in alignment with our values and priorities, we not only strengthen our connection to our creative core but also find greater peace and clarity in life. Creativity thrives in a ground of integrity. When you act from your truth, you unlock your potential and allow your art to reflect the best of you. In the next chapter, we'll explore Week 5, Recovering a Sense of Possibility, where we'll learn to open ourselves to new opportunities and trust in the infinite flow of creativity. Let's continue on this inspiring journey. Chapter 8, Week 5, Recovering a Sense of Possibility. In this 5th week, Julia Cameron invites us to embrace a world filled with creative possibilities. Often, our past experiences, limiting beliefs, and fears make us feel trapped or unable to dream big. This chapter focuses on releasing those blocks and cultivating an open and trusting mindset, allowing us to explore new opportunities and expand our creative potential. Creativity as a boundless field. Cameron explains that creativity is a continuous flow of opportunities and discoveries. However, to access this flow, we must let go of the beliefs that limit us and adopt a mindset of possibility. Initial reflection. What creative possibilities have you ignored because of fear or doubt? What is stopping you from exploring a project or idea that excites you? Identifying limiting beliefs about possibility. Cameron notes that many of us live with subconscious beliefs that restrict our perception of what we can achieve. These beliefs often manifest as thoughts such as, "I don't have enough time," "It's too late to start something new," "I could never do it as well as others." Practical exercise. Write a list of your current limiting beliefs. Reframe each belief into a positive affirmation. For example, belief, "I don't have time to create." Affirmation, "I make time for my creativity because it is important to me." Opening yourself to the unexpected. The author emphasizes that recovering a sense of possibility also involves learning to trust the unknown. Often, the best creative opportunities arise from unexpected situations or exploring paths that initially seem unconventional. Practical exercise. This week, do something you wouldn't normally do. Take a different route home, try a new hobby, or say yes to an invitation that pushes you out of your comfort zone. Notice how these small actions can open new doors. Cultivating curiosity. Curiosity is a powerful tool for expanding our perception of what's possible. Cameron encourages us to adopt a mindset of continuous learning, exploring the world with fresh, open eyes. Suggested activity. Make a list of things you've always wanted to learn or explore, whether it's a language, a musical instrument, an art technique, or something else entirely. Choose one and take the first step toward it. The importance of trusting the creative flow. Cameron emphasizes that trusting the creative flow is essential for opening ourselves to new possibilities. This means letting go of the need to control every detail and allowing creativity to guide us to unexpected places. Affirmations to cultivate trust. I am open to new creative opportunities. I trust that my creativity will lead me where I need to be. The universe is full of possibilities for me. Artist dates, exploring possibilities. This week's artist dates should focus on activities that expand your vision and inspire you to dream big. These experiences help you break free from routine and explore new sources of creativity. Ideas for artist dates. Visit a place you've never explored before, like a museum, an art fair, or a secondhand bookstore. Try a creative activity you've always considered but never attempted, such as sculpting, dancing, or photography. Spend time writing a list of creative dreams and goals without censoring yourself. Visualization exercise. Imagining the possible. Find a quiet place and close your eyes. Imagine a life where anything is possible. What would you do? What would you create? What would your ideal day look like? Write down what you visualized and reflect on how you can take the first steps toward that vision. Breaking free from a scarcity mindset. Cameron notes that a scarcity mindset can block our ability to dream and explore. This mindset manifests as thoughts like, there isn't enough time, money, or resources for me. To open ourselves to possibilities, we must replace this mindset with one of abundance and trust that there are enough resources for everyone. Suggested practice. Whenever you notice a scarcity thought, replace it with an affirmation of abundance. For example, thought, I'll never have the resources for this project. Affirmation, I always find the resources I need at the right time. Commitments for this week. Identify a limiting belief that prevents you from opening up to new possibilities and work on replacing it. Plan and complete an artist date that inspires you to explore the new and unknown. Spend time dreaming big. Write a list of creative goals without worrying about how you'll achieve them. Chapter conclusion. Recovering a sense of possibility is a crucial step in unlocking your creativity. Julia Cameron reminds us that the world is full of opportunities waiting to be discovered by those who dare to dream and explore. By freeing ourselves from limitations and trusting the creative flow, we open the door to a richer, more inspired life filled with potential. The universe is full of possibilities waiting for you to say yes. Your task is to open yourself to them, trust the process, and let your creativity take you beyond what you thought was possible. Next chapter preview. In the next chapter, we'll explore Week 6, Recovering a Sense of Abundance, where we'll learn to replace a mindset of lack with one of prosperity and limitless creativity. Chapter 9. Week 6, Recovering a Sense of Abundance. In this 6th week, Julia Cameron delves into the relationship between creativity and abundance. Often, our limiting beliefs make us see the world as a place of scarcity, where resources, time, money, energy, inspiration are insufficient. This chapter focuses on shifting that mindset and adopting a perspective of abundance, recognizing that the universe is full of creative possibilities and resources waiting to be tapped. Creativity and the scarcity mindset. Cameron explains that a scarcity mindset is one of the greatest blocks to creativity. It makes us feel that we are not good enough, lack the necessary resources, or that opportunities are limited. Examples of scarcity thoughts. I'll never be as talented as other artists. I don't have enough time to be creative. Creative success is only for the lucky few. Replacing scarcity with abundance. The author emphasizes that abundance begins with a shift in thinking. By recognizing and appreciating what we already have, we open the door to receive more. Creativity thrives in an environment of gratitude, trust, and openness. Practical exercise. Make a list of all the things you already have that support your creativity: time, skills, materials, inspiration. Write a daily affirmation that reinforces your abundance mindset, such as, the universe always provides what I need to create. My creativity attracts abundance in all its forms. The relationship between money and creativity. Cameron addresses the topic of money, a common source of anxiety for many creators. She explains that while money is important, It should not be seen as an obstacle to creativity. Instead, we must trust that the necessary resources will come when we commit to our creative work. Suggested reflection. What beliefs do you have about money and creativity? Do you feel you need more resources before you start creating? Positive affirmation. I trust that money and resources will flow to me as I dedicate myself to my creativity with passion and purpose. Recognizing the abundance that already exists. Cameron emphasizes that abundance is not always measured in terms of money or material possessions. It also includes time, energy, ideas, emotional support, and opportunities. Recognizing these forms of abundance helps us feel more empowered and connected to the creative flow. Suggested activity. Take inventory of the forms of abundance you already have in your life. For example, free time to work on your projects, friends or mentors who support you, an inspiring environment. Artist dates, connecting with abundance. This week, artist dates should focus on activities that remind you of the abundance of the world. Seek experiences that inspire you and fill you with gratitude. Ideas for artist dates. Take a walk through a garden, park, or any place that connects you with natural beauty. Visit a library or bookstore and explore the creative resources available. Spend time creating something without worrying about the outcome, simply enjoying the process. Practical exercise. Gratitude map. Draw a circle in the center of a page and write, "My creativity." Around the circle, write down the things you are grateful for that support your creativity. Use this map as a reminder that you already have a solid foundation to grow. Letting go of the need for control. Cameron explains that often we try to control every aspect of our creativity and our lives, which leads to tension and blocks. Regaining a sense of abundance involves trusting the flow of the universe and allowing things to unfold naturally. Suggested strategy. Practice letting go of something this week. It could be a project you're trying to force or a worry about how an idea will develop. Trust that the creative process will guide you. Commitments for this week. Write down 3 things you're grateful for each day in your creative life. Plan and complete an artist date that inspires you to connect with the abundance of the world. Dedicate time to working on a project without worrying about the outcome, simply enjoying the process. Chapter conclusion. Recovering a sense of abundance is essential for unlocking your creativity. Julia Cameron reminds us that by shifting our mindset from scarcity to one of gratitude and trust, we open the door to a constant flow of resources and inspiration. Creativity doesn't require perfection or unlimited resources. It requires an open and receptive mindset. The universe is abundant, and you are part of that abundance. When you trust the process and allow yourself to receive, everything you need for your creativity begins to flow toward you. Next chapter preview. In the next chapter, we will explore Week 7, Recovering a Sense of Connection, where we'll learn how to strengthen our connection with ourselves, others, and the divine source of creativity. Chapter 10, Week 7, Recovering a Sense of Connection. In this 7th week, Julia Cameron guides us toward recovering a deep connection with ourselves, with others, and with the divine source of creativity. Connection is essential for our creativity to flow freely, but we often lose this bond due to stress, distractions, or emotional disconnection. This chapter invites us to restore these essential connections and rediscover creativity as an act of unity and communion. Connection with yourself. Cameron explains that creativity begins with a strong connection to our inner self. However, we often neglect this relationship by prioritizing external demands, which leads us to feel disconnected from our own creative needs and desires. Practical exercise. Set aside 10 minutes each day for introspection. Ask yourself, how do I feel today? What do I need to nurture my creativity? Am I in tune with my creative purpose? Connection with others. The author emphasizes that, although creativity is a personal process, it also thrives on our relationships with others. Sharing ideas, receiving support, and finding inspiration in others' experiences are ways to enrich our creative connection. Suggested activity. Surround yourself with people who value creativity and support you on your path. Participate in a group creative activity, such as a workshop, class, or online community. Suggested reflection. Who inspires you most when sharing your ideas? What relationships do you need to strengthen or limit in order to protect your creativity? Connection with the divine. Cameron explains that creativity is a bridge to the divine, a way of experiencing our connection with a higher source. Recognizing this spiritual dimension of creativity helps us trust the process more and overcome fear and doubt. Suggested practice. Dedicate time to an activity that makes you feel connected with the divine, such as meditation, prayer, or a walk in nature. While doing this, reflect on how your creativity is an expression of this connection. Overcoming disconnection. Creative disconnection can manifest as blockage, apathy, or frustration. Cameron suggests that the best way to overcome these feelings is by taking small actions that restore the creative flow. Suggested strategy. When you feel disconnected, spend 15 minutes on a simple creative activity, such as drawing, free writing, or listening to inspiring music. These actions can help you reconnect with yourself and your creativity. Artist dates. Cultivating connection. This week, the artist dates should focus on activities that strengthen your sense of connection. Seek experiences that allow you to explore both your inner and outer worlds with curiosity and openness. Ideas for artist dates. Visit a place that inspires you and that you've never explored before. Spend time doing an activity you used to enjoy as a child. Write a letter to your creative self, expressing your wishes, fears, and hopes. Visualization exercise. The web of connection. Imagine a web of light connecting you to yourself, the important people in your life, and the universe. Visualize how this web strengthens your creativity and fills you with energy. Write about how this visualization makes you feel and what actions you can take to maintain these connections. The importance of gratitude in connection. Cameron explains that gratitude is a powerful tool for strengthening our connections. By recognizing and appreciating what we already have, we generate positive energy that nurtures our relationships and our creativity. Practical exercise. Each night, write 3 things you are grateful for in your creative life. It could be a moment of inspiration, the support of a friend, or an idea that came unexpectedly. Commitments for this week. Dedicate daily time to connect with yourself through introspection or meditation. Strengthen an important relationship in your creative life by sharing your ideas or thanking them for their support. Plan an artist date that inspires you to explore and strengthen your connections. Conclusion of the chapter. Recovering a sense of connection is essential to unlocking our creativity. Julia Cameron reminds us that by nurturing our relationship with ourselves, with others, and with the divine, we strengthen our ability to create and experience the world from a richer and fuller perspective. Creativity is an act of connection. When you align with yourself, with the people around you, and with the divine source, you unlock a creative flow that transforms your life and the lives of others. In the next chapter, we will explore Week 8, Recovering a Sense of Strength, where we will learn how to develop creative resilience to overcome challenges and move forward with confidence on our path. Let's continue this transformative journey. Chapter 11. Week 8, Recovering a Sense of Strength. In this 8th week, Julia Cameron invites us to develop inner strength that allows us to face creative challenges with resilience and confidence. Creativity, like any other aspect of life, has its ups and downs, but the key to staying on track is strengthening our ability to persist and grow despite obstacles. Strength as a daily practice. Cameron explains that strength is not a fixed attribute, but a skill we can cultivate over time. It requires commitment, patience, and the willingness to face our insecurities and fears. Initial reflection. What situations in your creative life have tested your strength? How did you react, and what did you learn from those experiences? Challenges as opportunities for growth. Instead of seeing challenges as barriers, Cameron encourages us to view them as opportunities to grow and strengthen our creativity. Every obstacle is a lesson that can teach us something valuable about ourselves and our creative process. Practical exercise. Think about a recent creative challenge you faced. Write about how you felt at the time, what you learned from the experience, how you can use that lesson to strengthen your approach to future projects. The role of self-compassion. Cameron emphasizes that being kind to ourselves is essential to developing strength. Excessive self-criticism can erode our confidence and halt our progress, while self-compassion allows us to learn from our mistakes without losing motivation. Suggested practice. Whenever you find yourself criticizing yourself, stop and reframe your thoughts into something more compassionate. For example, criticism, "I'll never be good enough." Response, "I am learning and improving every day." Building a solid foundation. Creative strength requires a solid foundation, which is built through consistent habits and practices that nourish our creativity. Cameron recommends, write your morning pages daily to release blocks and stay focused. Dedicate weekly time to artist dates to recharge your inspiration. Set small, achievable goals to maintain momentum. Suggested activity. Write down 3 creative habits you want to develop or strengthen to solidify your foundation. Commit to practicing them this week. The power of patience. The author emphasizes that strength also involves learning to be patient with the creative process. Creativity doesn't follow a linear timeline. There are times of fast progress and other times of apparent stagnation. Patience allows us to accept both states as natural parts of the process. Suggested strategy. When you feel frustrated by the slowness of your progress, remember that even small steps are advancements. Make a list of the small victories you've recently achieved and feel grateful for each one. Artist dates. Cultivating resilience. This week, artist dates should focus on activities that help you recharge your energy and reconnect with your creative passion. These experiences will remind you why you love creating and give you the strength to keep going. Ideas for artist dates. Spend time in a peaceful place, such as a forest, beach, or park, and reflect on your creative journey. Attend a cultural event, such as an art exhibition or concert, to get inspired by others' work. Dedicate time to a creative project without any expectations of results, simply for fun. Writing exercise, your letter of strength. Cameron proposes an exercise to reinforce your resilience. Write a letter to yourself from the perspective of someone who admires you and believes in your potential. In the letter, acknowledge your achievements, your efforts, and your unique qualities as a creator. Read it aloud whenever you need a reminder of your strength. The importance of celebrating progress. Cameron reminds us that celebrating our victories, no matter how small, is crucial for maintaining our strength. Every step we take toward our creative goals is an accomplishment that deserves recognition. Suggested activity. Make a list of 5 things you've recently achieved in your creative life, from completing a project to overcoming a block. Celebrate each one in a way that makes you feel special. Commitments for this week. Identify a current creative challenge you're facing and write about how you can confront it with strength. Dedicate time to an artist date that inspires and recharges your energy. Establish a new creative habit that will help you build a stronger foundation for your resilience. Conclusion of the chapter. Recovering a sense of strength is key to staying on the creative path despite challenges. Julia Cameron reminds us that strength does not mean the absence of fear, but the willingness to keep moving forward even when things feel difficult. With patience, self-compassion, and consistent habits, we can develop the resilience needed to make our creative dreams come true. Your creative strength is a muscle that strengthens with every step you take. As you face challenges with courage and perseverance, you will discover that you are stronger than you ever imagined. In the next chapter, we will explore Week 9, Recovering a Sense of Compassion, where we will learn how to nurture our creativity through love and understanding toward ourselves and our process. Let's keep moving forward on this powerful journey. Chapter 12, Week 9, Recovering a Sense of Compassion. In this 9th week, Julia Cameron invites us to explore the importance of compassion as a foundational pillar to unlock our creativity. The author emphasizes that we are often too critical of ourselves, which creates blockages and disconnects us from our creative flow. This chapter teaches us how to cultivate self-compassion to nourish our creative process and stay motivated, even when we face difficulties. Self-compassion as the basis of creativity. Cameron explains that self-compassion is not indulgence or complacency but an act of love and care for ourselves. Being compassionate toward our imperfections allows us to accept the creative process as it is, full of trials, mistakes, and discoveries. Initial reflection. Are you more critical than compassionate with yourself in your creative life? How do you react when you face a mistake or failure? Recognizing and overcoming self-criticism. Excessive self-criticism is one of the biggest blockages to creativity. Cameron notes that, while it's important to reflect on our actions, constant judgment paralyzes us and prevents us from taking creative risks. Practical exercise. Identify a critical thought that you often repeat. For example, "I'm not good enough." Reframe it into a compassionate statement, such as, "I am learning and improving with every attempt." Repeat this affirmation daily until it replaces the criticism in your mind. The importance of allowing ourselves to fail. The author emphasizes that mistakes and failures are a natural part of the creative process. Instead of avoiding them, we should embrace them as opportunities to learn and grow. Suggested practice. Dedicate time to a creative project where you are not afraid of making mistakes. Experiment, play, and allow yourself to enjoy the process without worrying about the outcome. The role of gratitude in compassion. Cameron explains that gratitude toward ourselves is a way to practice self-compassion. Appreciating our efforts, even when the results are not perfect, strengthens our confidence and motivates us to keep creating. Suggested activity. Write a list of 5 things you value about yourself as a creator. For example, I have the courage to try new things. I dedicate time to my creativity. I strive to learn and improve. Artist dates, nourishing your creative soul. This week's artist dates should focus on activities that help you reconnect with yourself and cultivate a sense of care and self-love. These dates are a way to show compassion and respect for your creative process. Ideas for artist dates. Dedicate time to a hobby that makes you feel relaxed and happy, like painting, cooking, or gardening. Write a journal about your creative emotions and thoughts. Spend time in a place that inspires you, like a park, beach, or art gallery. The connection between compassion and persistence. Cameron emphasizes that compassion gives us the strength to keep going when we face challenges. By being kind to ourselves, we remove the fear of failure and give ourselves permission to move forward with courage. Affirmations to reinforce compassion. I allow myself to be imperfect while I learn and grow. Creativity is a process, not a destination. I am worthy of time and space for my art. Visualization exercise. Your compassionate self. Close your eyes and imagine your compassionate self as a friend or mentor who is always there to support you. Visualize how this figure comforts and encourages you when you face creative difficulties. Write about how you can integrate this support into your daily life. Compassion toward others. In addition to practicing self-compassion, Cameron invites us to extend this love and understanding to other creators. Criticism of others often reflects our own insecurities, while supporting and celebrating the work of others strengthens our connection with the creative community. Suggested practice. Find someone in your creative life, a friend, colleague, or mentor, and express your appreciation for their work or effort. Not only will this benefit that person, but it will also reinforce your own compassionate mindset. Commitments for this week. Identify and replace a critical thought with a compassionate affirmation. Dedicate an artist date to an activity that nourishes your creative soul. Express appreciation for someone in your creative life, strengthening mutual connection and support. Conclusion of the chapter. Recovering a sense of compassion is a transformative step on the creative path. Julia Cameron reminds us that by treating ourselves with love and understanding, we free the creative potential that often gets trapped under the pressure of self-criticism. Compassion not only allows us to move forward with confidence, but it also helps us enjoy the creative process more. Creativity thrives in an environment of compassion. By loving and accepting yourself as you are, you allow your art to be an authentic and powerful expression of your essence. In the next chapter, we will explore Week 10, Recovering a Sense of Self-Protection, where we will learn how to set boundaries and protect our creative time and energy. Chapter 13, Week 10, Recovering a Sense of Self-Protection. In this 10th week, Julia Cameron guides us through the process of setting clear boundaries that protect our time, energy, and creative space. Creativity needs a safe environment to thrive, and this requires learning to say no to distractions, external demands, and self-limiting thoughts. This chapter focuses on developing a sense of self-protection that allows our inner artist to flourish. The importance of protecting your creative energy. Cameron explains that just as we protect our physical and emotional health, we must also safeguard our creativity. This means learning to identify what drains us and taking steps to maintain a healthy balance between our responsibilities and our creative time. Initial reflection. What or who drains your creative energy? What could you do to better protect your time and space to create? Learning to say no. Setting boundaries often starts with learning to say no firmly but respectfully. Cameron notes that although it may feel uncomfortable at first, saying no to what doesn't serve our creativity allows us to say yes to our priorities. Practical exercise. Identify a situation where you need to set a boundary, for example, declining an invitation or postponing a non-urgent task. Practice expressing this boundary clearly and kindly. For example, "Thank you for thinking of me, but I need to dedicate this time to my creative project." Protecting your creative space. In addition to protecting your time, it's also crucial to establish a physical space where you can create without interruptions. This space doesn't need to be large or perfect, but it should be a place where you feel comfortable and focused. Suggested activity. Dedicate time to organizing or creating a space in your home that is dedicated exclusively to your creative activities. Add elements that inspire you, such as books, colors, or music. Overcoming guilt when prioritizing yourself. Cameron acknowledges that we often feel guilty when setting boundaries or prioritizing our creativity over external demands. However, she emphasizes that caring for our creativity is not selfish. It is essential for our happiness and well-being. Affirmations to overcome guilt. It is valid and necessary to prioritize my creative time. By caring for my creativity, I am also caring for myself. Saying no to what doesn't serve me is saying yes to what matters. Artist dates. Protecting your inspiration. This week, artist dates should focus on activities that reinforce your sense of protection and self-care. Choose experiences that make you feel safe, inspired, and reconnected with yourself. Ideas for artist dates. Visit a place that conveys peace and calm, such as a garden, a lake, or a quiet library. Dedicate time to an activity that makes you feel cared for, such as taking a relaxing bath or reading a book that inspires you. Write in your journal about how you feel when prioritizing your creativity. Recognizing and overcoming creative saboteurs. Cameron notes that, in addition to external demands, sometimes we are our own creative saboteurs. Procrastination, perfectionism, and avoiding risk are forms of self-sabotage that prevent us from moving forward. Practical exercise. Identify a self-sabotage pattern in your creative life. Write an action plan to address it. For example, self-sabotage. I constantly procrastinate on my project. Plan. I will dedicate 30 minutes daily to work on it, without worrying about the outcome. The power of rest in self-protection. Cameron emphasizes that protecting our creativity also involves caring for our physical and emotional well-being. Rest is an essential part of the creative process as it allows us to recharge and stay focused. Suggested practice. This week, prioritize at least one full day or afternoon to rest completely. Use this time to relax and allow new ideas and inspiration to arise naturally. Commitments for this week. Set a clear boundary in a situation that is affecting your creative time or energy. Dedicate time to organizing a physical space that is exclusively for your creative activities. Arrange an artist date that helps strengthen your sense of protection and self-care. Chapter conclusion. Recovering a sense of self-protection is essential to unlocking and maintaining our creativity. Julia Cameron reminds us that by setting boundaries, prioritizing our time, and caring for our energy, we create a safe environment where our creativity can flourish. Self-protection is not selfishness, but an act of self-love and commitment to our creative process. Your creativity deserves to be protected. By taking care of your time, space, and energy, you are sending a clear message. My art and my well-being are important. Next chapter. In the next chapter, we will explore Week 11, Recovering a Sense of Autonomy, where we will learn to trust our own creative voice and make decisions aligned with our authentic essence. Chapter 14. Week 11. Recovering a Sense of Autonomy. In this 11th week, Julia Cameron encourages us to reclaim our creative autonomy, meaning the ability to fully trust our inner voice and make decisions aligned with our authentic essence. Often, we seek external validation or allow the opinions of others to influence our creative process. This chapter focuses on freeing ourselves from those ties and embracing our independence as creators. Creativity as an act of sovereignty. Cameron explains that creativity is a deeply personal act that flourishes when we allow ourselves to explore our ideas and desires without seeking external approval. Recovering a sense of autonomy means trusting our choices and recognizing that our creative voice is unique and invaluable. Initial reflection. In what areas of your creative life do you rely too much on external validation? When was the last time you followed your creative intuition without worrying about others' judgment? Identifying external influences. Often, our autonomy is affected by the opinions of others, criticism, or social expectations. Cameron encourages us to identify these influences and evaluate them honestly. Practical exercise. Make a list of people, situations, or beliefs that affect your ability to make creative decisions for yourself. Ask yourself, are these influences helpful or limiting? How can I reduce their impact on my creative process? Reconnecting with your creative intuition. Creative autonomy is based on listening to and trusting our intuition. This inner voice guides us toward decisions that reflect who we truly are as creators. Suggested practice. Dedicate time to meditate or write about a recent creative decision. Ask yourself, what does my intuition tell me about this project or idea? Am I acting from my truth or trying to meet external expectations? Learning to take risks. Cameron points out that reclaiming autonomy also involves being willing to take creative risks. This means exploring new ideas, experimenting with different approaches, and accepting that mistakes are part of the growth process. Practical exercise. This week, take a creative risk you have been avoiding. It could be experimenting with a new medium, sharing your work with others, or starting a project that scares you a little. Celebrating your individuality. Every creator has a unique style and voice. Reclaiming autonomy means embracing our individuality and recognizing that we don't need to compare ourselves to others. Suggested activity. Make a list of qualities that make your creative work unique. For example, my art combines vibrant colors that convey emotion. My writing has a personal and authentic approach. Read it every time you feel doubt about your individuality. Artist dates, exploring your independence. This week, artist dates should focus on activities that strengthen your connection to your inner voice. These dates will help you rediscover your independence and trust your creative choices more. Ideas for artist dates. Spend time exploring a place that stimulates your imagination, such as a museum, market, or library. Create something for yourself, with no intention of sharing it or seeking approval. Write a letter to your creative self, expressing your commitment to your autonomy. The power of self-confidence. Cameron explains that creative autonomy also requires developing confidence in our abilities and decisions. This doesn't mean ignoring constructive criticism, but learning to discern which feedback is helpful and which is not. Affirmations to strengthen your autonomy. I trust my creative intuition. My voice is valuable and deserves to be heard. I have the power to make decisions aligned with my truth. Visualization exercise. Your autonomous future. Close your eyes and imagine a future version of yourself fully connected to your creative autonomy. Visualize how this version of you makes decisions with confidence and creates from a place of authenticity. Write about what you saw and what steps you can take today to move closer to that vision. Commitments for this week. Make a creative decision based solely on your intuition, without seeking external validation. Dedicate an artist date to exploring an activity that makes you feel independent and in control. Reflect on the external influences affecting your creativity and take steps to reduce their impact. Chapter conclusion. Recovering a sense of autonomy is essential to unlocking your creative potential. Julia Cameron reminds us that true creativity emerges when we fully trust our inner voice and allow ourselves to explore without restrictions. By developing this independence, we not only strengthen our confidence but also create more authentic and meaningful work. Your creative autonomy is your greatest strength. When you trust your intuition and allow yourself to make decisions from your truth, you unlock unlimited power to create and transform. Next chapter. In the next chapter, we will explore Week 12, Recovering a Sense of Faith, where we will learn to trust the creative process and the flow of life to reach our goals and dreams. Let's continue on this inspiring path. Chapter 15, Week 12, Recovering a Sense of Faith. In this final week, Julia Cameron guides us toward recovering faith in ourselves, the creative process, and the universe as an infinite source of possibilities. Faith is an essential element for overcoming challenges, moving forward with confidence, and staying connected to our creativity. This chapter focuses on cultivating a mindset of trust and openness, allowing us to embrace uncertainty and trust that we are on the right path. Faith as the foundation of creativity. Cameron explains that creativity is an act of faith. Every time we sit down to create, we trust that ideas will emerge, that our actions will bear fruit, and that the process will take us where we need to be. A lack of faith can lead to doubt, blockages, and fear of failure. Initial reflection. What areas of your creative life cause you the most uncertainty? How can you cultivate more trust in the process? Overcoming the fear of the unknown. The author emphasizes that the fear of the unknown is one of the greatest challenges to creative faith. However, she also reminds us that uncertainty is part of the process, and by trusting in the flow of life, we can find unexpected opportunities. Suggested strategy. When facing uncertainty, adopt a mindset of curiosity rather than worry. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? What opportunities might arise from this challenge? The importance of taking small steps. Cameron notes that faith does not require grand gestures. It's enough to take small steps every day toward our creative goals. These cumulative steps build confidence and keep us moving forward, even when we don't see immediate results. Practical exercise. Choose a creative project or goal and write an action plan with small concrete steps you can take this week. Focus on completing one step at a time. Recognizing the signs from the universe. The author invites us to pay attention to the signs and synchronicities that occur in our lives. These small coincidences often show us that we are on the right path and that the universe is working in our favor. Suggested practice. Keep a synchronicity journal. Write down any coincidences or significant events that happen this week and reflect on how they might be related to your creative process. Artist dates, connecting with confidence. This week, your artist dates should focus on activities that help you connect with your sense of confidence and gratitude. These experiences will remind you that, even in moments of uncertainty, beauty and possibilities are always around you. Ideas for artist dates. Take a walk in nature and reflect on how everything in the world follows a natural flow. Visit a place that inspires hope and optimism, such as a temple, a church, or a meaningful place to you. Dedicate time to a creative project without worrying about the outcome, trusting that the process is valuable in itself. Affirmations to cultivate faith. Cameron suggests using affirmations to strengthen our trust in the creative process and in ourselves. Some ideas include: I trust that my creativity will take me where I need to be. The universe always provides what I need at the right moment. My art is an expression of my faith in the process of life. Writing exercise. A letter to the future. Write a letter to your future self, describing your creative dreams and how you trust that you will achieve them. In the letter, include words of encouragement and gratitude for the path you are on. Read this letter when you need a reminder of your faith and commitment. The power of letting go of control. Cameron emphasizes that faith also involves releasing the need to control every aspect of the creative process. By doing so, we allow the flow of life to guide us toward opportunities and outcomes that we may not have anticipated. Suggested practice. This week, identify a worry or situation where you are trying to control too much. Make a conscious effort to release it and trust that it will resolve in the best way possible. Commitments for this week. Take at least one small step toward a creative goal, trusting that every action counts. Go on an artist date that inspires confidence and gratitude. Reflect on the signs and synchronicities happening in your life and how they might be guiding you. Chapter conclusion. Recovering a sense of faith is the final step in unlocking your creativity and living a fuller life. Julia Cameron reminds us that faith is not the absence of doubt but the willingness to move forward despite it. By trusting ourselves, the process, and the universe, we discover that our possibilities are limitless. Faith is the heart of creativity. When you trust the process and allow yourself to move forward courageously, you open the door to an infinite flow of ideas, inspiration, and possibilities. Chapter 16. The Inner Critic, How to Manage the Censor. In this chapter, Julia Cameron addresses one of the greatest obstacles to creativity, the inner critic, also known as the censor. This internal voice, filled with doubts, criticism, and fears, often appears when we face the creative process. Learning to identify and manage the inner critic is essential to unlocking our potential and moving forward with confidence in our creative path. Who is the censor? The censor is that part of our mind that constantly questions our creative abilities and decisions. It is the voice that says things like, "You're not good enough. This doesn't make sense. Who would want to see or read this?" Cameron explains that the censor feeds on our insecurities and is deeply rooted in past experiences, such as external criticism or perceived failures. Initial reflection. How often do you listen to your censor? What types of negative thoughts or comments tend to arise when you're creating? How to identify the censor. Cameron points out that the first step in managing the censor is recognizing its presence. Often, we confuse its criticism with absolute truths, which paralyzes us. However, by seeing it as a separate voice, we can begin to neutralize its impact. Practical exercise. During a creative session, write down all the negative criticisms that arise in your mind. Read them aloud and reflect on how they make you feel. Replace each criticism with a positive affirmation. For example, criticism, "This is a mess." Response, "I am learning and improving with every attempt." Disarming the censor with humor. An effective strategy for handling the censor is to strip it of its power through humor. Cameron suggests imagining the censor as a cartoonish character, exaggerating its critiques to the point where they lose credibility. Suggested practice. Draw or describe your censor as a ridiculous character, with a comical voice or absurd attire. The next time you hear it, visualize it in this form and observe how its influence diminishes. The importance of affirmations. Cameron emphasizes that affirmations are a powerful tool for counteracting the censor's criticisms. These positive statements reprogram our minds to trust our abilities and value our creative work. Suggested affirmations. I am a brave and capable creator. My ideas are valuable and deserve to be expressed. The creative process is more important than the result. Repeat these affirmations daily, especially before starting a creative activity. The role of morning pages. Morning pages provide a safe space to release the negative thoughts generated by the censor. Writing these criticisms on paper allows us to process them and leave them behind, rather than letting them get stuck in our minds. Practical exercise. For 1 week, use morning pages to record the censor's criticisms. At the end of each session, write a positive response that reaffirms your self-confidence. Setting boundaries with the censor. Cameron encourages us to set clear boundaries with the censor. This means recognizing when it appears, thanking it for trying to protect us, and then moving forward without letting its criticism stop us. Suggested strategy. The next time the censor criticizes your work, mentally respond. "Thank you for your opinion, but I don't need it right now. I am creating something valuable and will move forward." Artist dates. Overcoming the censor. Artist dates are an opportunity to reconnect with our creativity without the interference of the censor. These experiences remind us that the creative process should be fun and enriching. Ideas for artist dates. Visit an art exhibit or cultural event that inspires you. Try a completely new creative activity, such as sculpting or improvising music. Dedicate time to something you loved doing as a child, like coloring or building something. The power of a creative community. Cameron explains that sharing our struggles with the sensor with other creators can be incredibly freeing. Hearing how others face similar challenges helps us feel less alone and more empowered. Suggested activity. Join a creative group or find a trusted partner with whom you can share your experiences and support each other in facing the sensor. Commitments for this week. Identify and write down the sensor's criticisms during your creative sessions, replacing them with positive affirmations. Dedicate an artist date to an activity that allows you to play and experiment without worrying about the outcome. Share your experiences with the sensor with a friend or creative group to find support and perspective. Conclusion of the chapter. The inner critic, or sensor, is a voice that we all face on our creative journey. Julia Cameron reminds us that we cannot eliminate it entirely, but we can learn to manage it with confidence and compassion. By recognizing its presence, disarming it with humor, and replacing its criticisms with positive affirmations, we unlock our creative potential and move forward with greater freedom. The sensor may be strong, but you are stronger. Your creativity deserves to be expressed, and every step you take forward is a victory over fear and doubt. In the next chapter, we will explore art as a spiritual process, where we will delve into the connection between creativity and spirituality as a way to experience meaning and transcendence in our creative lives. Let's continue moving forward. Chapter 17. Art as a Spiritual Process. In this chapter, Julia Cameron explores the deep connection between creativity and spirituality. For the author, the act of creating is not just a practical activity, but a process that connects us with a higher force, with the universe, and with our highest purpose. This approach transforms our view of creativity. It is not just a means to produce something, but a path towards self-discovery, transcendence, and spiritual growth. Creativity as an expression of the divine. Cameron explains that creativity is a direct manifestation of divine energy flowing through us. By creating, we become channels for this universal force, allowing it to express itself through our work and ideas. Initial reflection. Do you feel that your creativity is connected to something greater than yourself? How can you incorporate a spiritual perspective into your creative process? Art as an act of faith. The creative process requires faith. Faith that ideas will emerge, that our actions will bear fruit, and that each step will take us to where we need to be. Cameron describes this faith as an unwavering trust in the flow of the universe. Suggested practice. Before beginning a creative project, take a few minutes to reflect or meditate on this affirmation. I am a channel for divine creativity. Everything I need will come at the right time. The role of intuition in the spiritual process. Intuition is a key tool for connecting with the divine in the creative process. Listening to our inner voice guides us toward decisions that are aligned with our purpose and truth. Practical exercise. Dedicate time to a project without a defined plan. Let your intuition guide each step, from the materials you use to the creative decisions you make. Trust the process without worrying about the outcome. Creativity as active meditation. Cameron suggests that creativity can be a form of active meditation, a state in which we are completely present and connected to the moment. This state allows us to experience a sense of peace and purpose. Suggested activity. Choose a creative activity, drawing, writing, playing an instrument, and dedicate 20 minutes to it this week. While doing it, focus on each detail and let your mind relax into the process. Artist dates, connecting with the divine. This week, the artist dates should focus on experiences that strengthen your connection to the spiritual and creative. Look for moments that inspire you and help you feel part of something greater. Ideas for artist dates. Visit a sacred or spiritual place that inspires you. Spend time observing nature, reflecting on the beauty and order of the universe. Listen to music that connects you with deep, transcendent emotions. The importance of creative service. Cameron emphasizes that our creativity is not only a gift for ourselves, but also for others. By sharing our art, we inspire, heal, and connect with other people, which strengthens our relationship with the divine. Suggested practice. Think of a way to share your creativity with others this week. It can be a simple gesture, like giving something you made, or sharing a poem or song you wrote. Recognizing moments of grace. The creative process is filled with what Cameron calls moments of grace. Moments when everything seems to flow perfectly, as if the universe is working in our favor. These moments are reminders that we are aligned with our essence and the divine. Practical exercise. Write about a recent moment in which you experienced this sense of grace. What were you doing? How did you feel? Reflect on how you can cultivate more of these moments in your life. Commitments for this week. Dedicate time to a creative activity that connects you with your intuition and the divine. Have an artist date that inspires you to explore the spiritual dimension of your creativity. Share your creativity with someone as an act of service and connection. Conclusion of the chapter. Art as a spiritual process is a reminder that creativity is not just something we do, but something we are. Julia Cameron invites us to embrace our creativity as a tool to connect with the divine, discover our purpose, and enrich our lives and the lives of those around us. Your creativity is a bridge to the divine. By allowing yourself to create, you not only express what's inside of you but also align with the infinite flow of energy and possibilities from the universe. In the next chapter, we will explore advanced tools for unlocking creativity, where we will learn additional strategies to deepen our creative process and overcome persistent blocks. Chapter 18. Advanced Tools for Unlocking Creativity. In this chapter, Julia Cameron presents advanced strategies designed to deepen the creative process and overcome persistent blocks. These tools are meant for those who have already worked with the fundamentals of the book and are looking for more specific and powerful ways to unlock their creative potential. Cameron guides us toward a deeper understanding of the challenges we face and how to overcome them with intention and focus. Tool 1. The Creativity Map. The Creativity Map is an exercise that helps you visualize your goals, identify your resources, and map out a path toward your creative objectives. Cameron suggests that by mapping our ideas, we bring clarity to our intentions and create a tangible plan. How to do it? Draw a circle in the center of a sheet and write your main creative goal inside it. Around the circle, write the resources, skills, and people that can support you. Draw lines connecting your resources to your goal and reflect on the steps needed to reach it. Tool 2. Creative Meditation. Creative meditation is a practice that combines introspection with creativity. It's ideal for overcoming mental blocks, generating fresh ideas, and connecting with your intuition. Practical exercise. Find a quiet place where you won't be interrupted. Close your eyes and breathe deeply for a few minutes to relax. Imagine an ideal creative space. It could be a studio, a garden, or any place that inspires you. Visualize how you create freely in that space, without judgment or distractions. Open your eyes and jot down any ideas or feelings that arose during the meditation. Tool 3. Writing a Creative Manifesto. Cameron encourages us to write a manifesto that reflects our beliefs, values, and creative goals. This document acts as a reminder of our purpose and motivates us to keep moving forward. How to do it? Write about why creativity is important to you. List your creative principles, such as, I value the process more than the outcome, or my creativity is unique and valuable. End with a commitment statement, such as, I promise to dedicate time to my art every week. Tool 4. The 48-Hour Challenge. This exercise is designed to break routines and explore new ways of thinking and creating. For 48 hours, Cameron invites us to try completely new creative activities or approach our projects from a different perspective. Example activities. Change your work environment. Use tools or materials you've never tried before. Create something in a different format than usual. Write a poem if you typically paint, or record a video if you usually write. Tool 5. The Creative Mentor. Cameron suggests finding a creative mentor, whether real or imaginary, to inspire and guide us. This mentor could be a historical figure, an artist you admire, or even a future version of yourself. Practical exercise. Choose your creative mentor. Write an imaginary letter asking for advice on a challenge you're facing. Respond to the letter from the perspective of your mentor, offering support and solutions. Artist dates. Deepening inspiration. In this chapter, artist dates are designed to challenge you and expand your creative limits. Look for experiences that take you outside your comfort zone and offer you new perspectives. Ideas for artist dates. Attend a cultural event in an area you don't know, like an opera or a contemporary art exhibition. Go on an excursion to a place you've never visited and capture the experience through photos, writing, or sketches. Try a completely new hobby, like pottery, dance, or experimental cooking. Advanced affirmations to unlock creativity. Cameron proposes more specific and challenging affirmations for those looking to dive deeper into their creative process. I allow myself to explore unknown territories in my creativity. Creative challenges are opportunities to grow. Every day, my creativity expands and strengthens. Commitments for this week. Create your creativity map and use it as a guide for your creative goals. Dedicate time to an artist date that challenges you to step out of your comfort zone. Take on the 48-hour challenge and observe how it changes your creative perspective. Conclusion of the chapter. Julia Cameron's advanced tools are an invitation to deepen our creative process and overcome persistent blocks that may arise. By applying these strategies with intention and openness, we not only unlock new ideas but also strengthen our connection to our creative purpose. Your creativity is limitless. By exploring new tools and perspectives, you discover parts of yourself you never imagined and open the door to a world of infinite possibilities. In the next chapter, we will explore the art of healing, creativity as catharsis, where we will learn how creativity can be a powerful tool for healing emotional wounds and finding inner peace. Let's continue moving forward on this transformative path. Chapter 19. The Art of Healing, Creativity as Catharsis. In this chapter, Julia Cameron delves into the healing power of creativity. The author invites us to see art not just as a means of expression but as a powerful tool for healing emotional wounds, releasing accumulated pain, and finding inner peace. Creativity has the ability to transform our most difficult experiences into something beautiful and meaningful, allowing us to grow and move forward. Creativity as an act of healing. Cameron explains that when we create, we shape our emotions and inner experiences, allowing us to process and release them. This process can be especially helpful during times of stress, sadness, or confusion. Initial reflection. Are there emotions or experiences you feel you need to process or release? How can you use your creativity to safely explore these emotions? The power of creative catharsis. Creative catharsis occurs when we use art to release repressed emotions. This process not only alleviates stress but also helps us gain a new perspective on our experiences. Practical exercise. Identify an emotion that you feel is blocking your creative energy, e.g., sadness, anger, or fear. Dedicate time to a creative activity that allows you to explore and express that emotion, such as writing a poem, painting a picture, or composing a song. Observe how you feel after completing the activity. Writing as a healing tool. Cameron highlights that writing is one of the most accessible and effective ways to heal through creativity. By writing about our emotions and experiences, we not only process them but also gain a better understanding of them. Practical exercise. Write a letter that you will never send to someone or something that represents a painful experience in your life. Be honest and let your words flow freely. Once you're done, you can keep the letter as a reminder of your healing or destroy it as a symbolic act of release. Art as a form of forgiveness. Creativity can also be a tool for practicing forgiveness, both towards ourselves and others. By expressing our pain or regret through art, we can find the space we need to heal. Suggested practice. Create something that symbolizes the forgiveness you need in your life. For example, you could draw an image that represents closure of a chapter or write a story in which you free yourself from resentment. Artist dates. Reconnecting with your essence. This week's artist dates are designed to help you reconnect with your most authentic essence and heal through creativity. Look for activities that bring you calm, comfort, and hope. Ideas for artist dates. Spend time in a place that makes you feel safe and at peace, such as a forest, a beach, or your favorite corner at home. Dedicate time to an activity that reminds you of the joy of your childhood, such as playing, coloring, or building something. Listen to music that inspires you and helps you process your emotions. The role of gratitude in healing. Cameron suggests that gratitude is an essential part of the healing process. By focusing on what we have instead of what we lack, we shift our perspective and open the door to hope and renewal. Practical exercise. Every night, write down 3 things you're grateful for, especially related to your creativity. It could be something as simple as having had time to create or finding inspiration in an unexpected place. Creativity as a bridge to hope. Cameron emphasizes that art has the power to offer us hope, even in the darkest moments. By creating, we imagine a better future and show that we are capable of transforming pain into something meaningful. Affirmations for creative healing. My creativity helps me heal and grow. I transform my pain into beauty and meaning. Art is my path to inner peace. Commitments for this week. Dedicate time to a creative activity that allows you to process and release repressed emotions. Do an artist date that inspires calm and hope. Write about a difficult experience and reflect on what you've learned from it. Conclusion of the chapter. The art of healing through creativity is a reminder that we all have the power to transform our emotions and experiences into something meaningful. Julia Cameron invites us to see creativity not only as a tool for expression but also as a path to healing and self-discovery. Your creativity has the power to heal your heart and soul. By embracing art as a way to process your emotions, you find peace, hope, and the strength to move forward. In the next and final chapter, we will explore Conclusion, Life as a Work of Art, where we will reflect on how to integrate all the teachings from the book to live a creative and fulfilling life. We're nearing the end of this transformative journey. Chapter 20, Conclusion, Life as a Work of Art. In this final chapter, Julia Cameron reflects on the transformative journey we've undertaken throughout The Artist's Way. The author invites us to integrate the teachings and tools we've learned, not only to apply them to creative projects but also in the way we live our lives. In the end, Cameron reminds us that our life itself can become a work of art, full of authenticity, purpose, and connection. Life as a creative expression. Cameron explains that creativity is not limited to artistic activities but permeates all aspects of our lives. Every choice we make, from how we decorate our homes to how we face challenges, is an opportunity to express ourselves and create something meaningful. Initial reflection. What areas of your life already reflect your creativity? Where can you incorporate more creative elements to live more authentically? Recap of the key tools. Throughout the book, we have worked with key tools that have helped unlock our creativity. Cameron encourages us to continue practicing them as essential habits in our daily lives. Morning pages, a space to release blocks and connect with our inner voice. Artist dates, moments dedicated to nurturing our inspiration and creativity. Affirmations, positive statements that strengthen our confidence and help us overcome self-criticism. The importance of ongoing commitment. The author emphasizes that creativity is an ongoing process that requires dedication and commitment. Even after finishing this book, it is essential to keep exploring, learning, and facing challenges with curiosity and bravery. Suggested practice. Write a long-term creative plan. Include goals, projects, and practices you'd like to incorporate into your life in the coming months or years. Use this plan as a guide to keep you on track. Celebrating the creative journey. Cameron encourages us to recognize and celebrate our progress. Every step we've taken on this journey, from overcoming blocks to exploring new possibilities, is an achievement worth acknowledging. Suggested activity. Take time this week to reflect on your creative journey. Write about the most significant moments, the lessons learned, and the ways you have grown. Consider sharing this process with someone who values your creativity. Creativity as an act of love. Cameron describes creativity as a form of love. Love for ourselves, for others, and for the universe. By creating, we connect with something greater than ourselves and contribute to a more vibrant world full of possibilities. Final affirmations. My life is a work of art in constant evolution. I choose to live with creativity, authenticity, and purpose. Every day, I come closer to my true creative potential. Living in Harmony with Creativity. The author concludes that the ultimate purpose of this journey is to live in harmony with our creativity. This means accepting both successes and challenges, trusting the process, and allowing ourselves to grow and change over time. Suggested practice. Every morning, ask yourself, how can I express my creativity today? What can I create, experience, or learn to enrich my life? Commitments for the future. Keep the main tools as part of your daily or weekly routine. Look for new ways to integrate creativity into your everyday life. Share your creativity with others, inspiring and supporting those around you. Conclusion of the book. Julia Cameron leaves us with a powerful reminder. Our creativity is a divine gift that deserves to be explored and shared. By living creatively, we not only enrich our own lives but also inspire and connect with others, making the world a more beautiful and authentic place. Your life is your masterpiece. Every day, every choice, and every action is an opportunity to create something extraordinary. Open your heart to creativity, trust the process, and live fully. Thank you for reaching the end of The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. This journey has been a deep exploration of our creativity, a reminder that we are all creators by nature, and that our life is, in itself, a work of art in constant evolution. We hope this audiobook has inspired you to unlock your creative potential, overcome your blocks, and find a deeper connection with your true essence. Remember that the tools and teachings shared here are not just exercises, but habits that can transform your life if applied with consistency and openness. If this content has added value to your journey, we invite you to continue learning and growing with us. Subscribe to the Audio Mentors channel to discover more transformative audiobooks that will enrich your life and propel you toward your goals. Thank you for listening. Keep creating, exploring, and living with purpose. We'll see you in the next audiobook.